Hey, how's it going? I was asked by actually a few people to go over hooking up a Behringer Interface on OS X operating system. So I figured I'll just go through it and I'll show you how it's done. For this, I'm using the ZX1204 USB. It's a 12-channel microphone, 12-channel mixer, with the built-in USB audio interface. It's a 2.0 USB connection, so it'll only send the two track stereo output. When a lot of people buy it, they make the misconception that there's 4 channels, 4 of the XLR inputs, so you could send in 4 individual tracks, or you could, since it's called a 12-channel mixer, you can do 12 channels, individual tracks rather, but you have to be careful. It's just a 2-track output. But let's get into it. First we'll look at the mixer, see the settings I have on that, and then we'll hop onto the Mac and I'll show you what you have to do. Okay, so for this we're just going to use a standard dynamic microphone, and that uses the XLR connections, just like that. Just goes into the XLR jack on channel 1, and then you have your gain stage. Since it is a dynamic microphone, you don't need phantom power, but you do need a considerable amount of gain, so you're going to want to crank that up, and I have an idea of where it should be, but play around and test it out for when you're doing that. Now the next step in the signal flow is the compressor, which I'm gonna put it on to where I would usually have it when I'm doing a voiceover or something like that. Since I'm just gonna be holding the mic to my mouth, you want to take into the Fletcher-Munson theory. So I'm gonna cut back on the mids, crank up the highs a little, and turn up the fader. Now also over here, the main mix, that's the output level for your 2 track output, and you're gonna want to, since you're using sending your USB into your computer, you're gonna want to do the 2-track / USB. You're gonna want to make sure that's in. For this, normally you would have the outputs of your speaker going from here, or there's monitor outs in the back. But for this, since it's just a little quick setup, I just have it running from the headphones out. Now I don't have one of those hypercams or whatever for the computer to film what you're doing, so I'm just gonna have the camera streaming lined up on this. But anyway, we're going to go to our toolbar up over here. I'm going to hit go, and we're going to go to utilities. Make sure your mixer is on at this point. We're going to go into the audio MIDI setup, and there's no on the Macs, I found that there's no actual drivers that Behringer makes for this particular model for the Mac operating system. So when you plug it in, it comes up as USB audio codec, and if you see that, that's a good sign, and you have your values that you can adjust and everything like that. But if you see that, that's good. Now from there, we're going to open up GarageBand, and we'll just get a new session going. I don't typically use this. I never use it. I'll go 95, 94, whatever. But let's see if we can get some loops or something. Drums. Or is it down here, I think? Let's see. Anyway, just disregard that. Or, you know what? Let me see. I always forget where. Anyway, so we're in our session now, and gonna make a new track. Gonna set it up for a real instrument. And now you can see that we're getting a signal on our VU meters, but that's just from the microphone on the laptop. It's not actually, coming from the mixer. So what we're going to want to do is go to, in the toolbar, go to the GarageBand, and then go into Preferences. From that, we're going to want to go into Audio and MIDI. Now it's set to System Settings. We're going to go in, and once again, it's USB audio codec. So we're going to select that, and we're going to, yes, change the driver. Now I changed that from both, so we're going to, the input is going to be coming from the mixer. So whatever we have plugged in, microphones, lines, whatever. And then the output is going to go from the laptop in the session, and it's going to go out to the mixer and out to our monitors, headphones, whatever we have set up. So now, when I pick up the mic, turn it on, you can see that we're getting signal. Hey, this is Mark. We're just going over the Behringer 1204 USB mixer. We're just checking it out, seeing how it works. Okay, so we're going to stop that. And right there, that's a pretty good level to start with. I actually wouldn't change too much about it. Maybe turn it up like a dash or something, but when audio recording, digital recording rather, first came out, the theory was, crank it as high as you can, but now it's, that's a really good level. You wouldn't want to go any higher than that. Okay, so now let's go through how you would use your Behringer audio interface in Pro Tools. Let's get that set up. So we're going to go into Utilities, and we're going to go back into Audio MIDI setup. Now, for this, you're going to want to select the Pro Tools Aggregate Io. And the reason being for that is because on Macs, I don't remember the reason why, or if there was ever a reason given, but within Pro Tools, you can only, if you were to use your audio interface, you can only use it as an input or only use it as an output. You can't use both for some reason, but the Pro Tools Aggregate lets you run both at the same time. So when you're using Pro Tools, you're going to want to select this. everything seems to be set up. So since I already did it, I had it all selected. I'm going to X out of that, and we're going to go into Pro Tools now. Now I'm going to create a blank session. When you're creating your session, you're going to want to make sure your sample rate and bit depth matches the settings on your interface. If your interface is limited to 44.1 16-bit depth, then you're going to have to set it at that rate, or you're going to have problems. You're not going to get sound. You're going to get pops if you get anything. So mine's right now is set for 44.1 16-bit depth. And we're going to go with the stereo mix. So we're just going to load that up. Name this session New Test. So now we're just going to create a track, just a mono track. And we have inputs now that we can select. Input 1 is going to be from our mixer. So when we hit the arm, the track record enabled, that arms the track. And when we turn on our microphone, you can see we're getting signal from the mic. So, now, actually, I don't know the hotkeys on the laptops for Pro Tools. Let's see. Let's bring that up. Okay. So, now when I record, it's coming from the mic, it's going into Pro Tools, we're getting signal in, and you can see it's recording. So that's how you would set up your Behringer Interface to run on Macs in Pro Tools and GarageBand. And it's pretty much the same thing for any other, DAW workstation that you have, whether it be, Logic or Audacity, anything like that. But, if anyone has any more questions, hopefully I can figure it out and work something out and, help you through it. But hopefully this helped for everyone that was asking. Thanks.